Establishing Mantras, The Police State, Part 2, by Walker von Krieg, a Jonsquill Ministries production. Dinesh D'Souza said, "The police state is here. Is it coming for you next?" These are words I never thought I would have to say about this country. The word mantra comes from Hinduism and Buddhism. It is a word or sound believed to have strong spiritual power. The word or phrase repeated in other settings, having particularly strong belief behind it, is also called a mantra. The repetition of such a word or phrase within a religious context numbs the mind and makes it open to outside influences. Similarly, the repetitive use of a word, words, or phrases can have outcomes ranging from the hypnotic to a brainwashing result, depending on the environment in which it is used. Professor Plum, Critical Thinking 101. Dinesh D'Souza is particularly concerned with the growth of the police state in the United States, his adopted country. The truth is, in these last days there is a growth of such governmental entities all over the world. From my vantage point, I have come to the conclusion that the growth of such dominating power over humanity is aided by the use of particular mantras that resonate on the human mind and are connected with ethnic and societal thought processes. Discussing mantras used to establish a police state would be impossible in one setting, so I am going to have to limit to one particular such phrase that has been used to influence American life. The one I would like to consider in this editorial is the expression, "It is for the children." I am aware this has been used in other societies with useful results for the authoritarian. But I will have to confine myself to what I best know. Moved by curiosity, I ran a search through our digital files and, going back only to this past 18th of June, I found we had 2,522 separate conservative messages that used the expression. Then I utilized a search engine of limited potential and discovered 5 pages of entries concerning the phrase, "for the children." It may be interesting to history buffs that I also learned that when the BBC resumed broadcasting after World War II, one of the first programs was called, "For the Children." This is not evidence of something evil, but of how important children are to Western minds. It is, however, an idea someone with ill intent might use to promote evil ideas. The ideas concerning children vary between peoples and governments. For instance, those who lean toward socialism and communism believe the state owns the children and not the parents. Those wishing to promote anarchy seek to convince children they have no obligation to follow parental concerns for their well-being. Any ideas contrary to biblical ideas concerning parental authority and children's duty are inspired by what we call the doctrines of demons. The people holding such ideas may not realize the situation, but that does not alter it. In China, the communist government, faced with a large human population to be provided for, decided the solution was a one-child per family policy, at least for the common people. The heads of families are concerned with having sons, not only to help them with day-to-day work, but also to carry on the family legacy. In the years since the policy was instituted, the Chinese nation developed a problem of not enough girls to marry restless young men. This resulted in young women being lured from places like Vietnam and Thailand to work, who were then forced into sexual servitude or forced marriages. Now India, which has seen many young women lured into sexual slavery through a complex process of marriages to foreign men, followed by divorces away from their native land, is considering a 2-child policy which would reduce the burgeoning population over just a few decades. But what would the unconsidered ramifications be? Each of the aforementioned ideas were sold as a movement for the good of the children, providing a better future for posterity. But God said man should be fruitful and multiply. Did God make a mistake? I don't think so. In the United States, abortion was introduced with the claim it was for the children because children should not have to grow up in squalid conditions because parents were too poor to support them. That is the mantra. So the solution is to kill them before they are born. Children should not have to grow up with the blemish of being the result of rape or incest. That is the mantra. So the solution is to kill them before they are born. Children should not have to grow up with the knowledge they were conceived by accident and unwanted. That is the mantra. So the solution was to kill them before they were born. Children should not have to grow up struggling with disabilities. That is the mantra. So the solution is to kill them before they are born. The truth of the matter is, a smaller society is a more easily controlled society. Do what we say because it is good for the children. Really? In this short editorial I have just opened up the idea of mantras and only touched on the implications of one mantra. I am sure my viewers, both in the United States and around the world, can add their own insights into the dialogue. There are other mantras as well. Which ones come to mind when you begin to give the matter some thought? One final thing to consider: what kind of nefarious mind can lay behind the pressure to get assent without forethought? Always remember that Jonsquill Ministries is both a prophetic and apologetic-based ministry. We live in a time which has more said about it prophetically in Scripture than any other time in human history. It is part of our work to analyze what is happening in the world and compare it to what the Bible has to say. Then, as faithful watchmen, we speak truth to our brethren without favoritism for any. To learn more about us, visit our website at jonsquillministries.com. We appreciate your feedback. Please share this video and remember to subscribe and click the notification bell so you may know when we post new content.